Every 5 years, all EU citizens with the right to vote can choose their representatives in the only directly elected institution of the European Union. The 751 members of the European Parliament are elected during a 4-day-long marathon taking place across the EU. Let's have a look at why voting in the EU elections is important and why your voice has power. The European Parliament has been empowered gradually in the EU treaties over the last decades and is by no means a toothless tiger. Let's have a look at the most important powers of your parliamentary representatives at the EU level. 1. Co-legislation. A legislative proposal from the European Commission is jointly adopted by the European Parliament and the Council. This is called an ordinary legislative procedure. 2. Call for legislation. The European Parliament can call on the Commission to submit legislative proposals which it deems necessary to implement the EU treaties. 3. Monitoring cometology. Once a law is passed, the details are worked out by officials of the Commission, the Member States, and external experts in a process that is called cometology. The European Parliament has the democratic control over this process and can intervene if necessary. 4. Adoption of the EU budget. Members of the European Parliament co-approve the EU's budget with the Council and therefore keep an eye on the expenditure made with the taxpayers' money. 5. Consent to international agreements. The European Council must obtain the consent of the European Parliament, or at least consult its members before concluding an international agreement. The Parliament also must be kept informed at all stages of the negotiations to ensure transparency. Most recently, this has led to heated debates around free trade agreements such as TTIP or CETA. 6. Appointment of the European Commission. After the European elections, the Member States, in form of the European Council, present their nominee for President of the European Commission to the European Parliament, while taking into account the majorities in the newly elected institution. The European Parliament also approves and rejects the commissioners and can censor the Commission. Like this, the members of the European Parliament have direct influence on the executive branch of the European Union. Every 5 years, your vote determines the future direction of the European Union, which will directly impact the lives of 500 million citizens. Make sure you check the proposals and positions put forward by the various political candidates and parties in your country, and keep in mind, your vote matters.